Good afternoon, everyone. This is Ed McNeil, Marketing and Communications with the City of Winston-Salem. What you're looking at there is, I'll call it the brains of the communications for our CityLink agents to speak with sanitation staff members as they're out. When CityLink gets calls, they're able to use that to communicate with the staff to try to carry out the fix or the service or whatever has to be talked about. The reason we're doing this live is in just a moment we're going to talk about the fact that CityLink has gone 24 hours a day for just the next few days in response to Hurricane Florence. Hi there, I'm Ed McNeil, again, Marketing and Communications Director with the City of Winston-Salem. And if you've been following us on Facebook here in the last day, you have seen where our leaders, both in Forsyth County as well as City of Winston-Salem, signed or made a declaration of state of emergency. This is the actual form here. And so on this one, County Commissioner Dave Plyler signed this one. There's one identical to that was signed by the mayor. And part of what it does is it alerts you, the community, to the fact that there's something serious that's pending in our community and we need to prepare. But it also opens the door for us to be able to make sure that the process of being reimbursed for the services that we deliver during that time, make sure that those reimbursements can happen as they should. Just trying to be money smart in those kinds of situations. But one of the most important elements of city government is CityLink. Back in 2007, just a year after Lee Garrity was named the city manager, there was the creation of CityLink. Prior to that, you had probably 200 plus numbers all over city government, and it was on you, the resident, to try to figure out, well, who do I call? I have a sidewalk problem, I have a sanitation problem, I have a streets problem, where do I call? CityLink solves much of that, and so the number is 336-727-8000, but the best number, 311 on a mobile device. And so calling that number will bring you to this location. We're on 1st Street in downtown Winston-Salem, and this is where your calls are answered, and then the agents go out and begin to get you some answers. So I want to start with quick introduction. So Karen Witherspoon is the Deputy Director here in CityLink. Thank you for being with us. Let's start with what does this mean for you all to go 24 hours a day over the course of this storm event?
Certainly. CityLink is considered essential staff for the City of Winston-Salem. So whenever we have a life-threatening event, as Florence is suggesting, we make sure that we have staff to assist citizens within the community. For us, we will be here until the event is over. Our staff will be handling non-emergency calls. That could mean a signal outage. That could mean a tree down, sewer blockage, trees down in a row impeding traffic, any non-emergency to that degree. If it's an emergency, certainly you're going to call 911.
That's one of the real important notes here. CityLink is set up to handle those different city services, but not emergencies. So over the course of this time while we're up running 24 hours a day, please direct your emergency needs to the 911 center. Just call 911 and you can get answers. You call 311, we'll go to a quick example. So one of the things that we've seen with this storm is they're saying, okay, you're going to get wind, you're going to get rain. We know just earlier this week we had trees down in areas of the city. So let's use that as the example. Trees are down. People should call 311, right? So tell us what happens once that call comes to you.
So we get the call and you'll say we have a tree down on Deacon Boulevard. We will then dispatch someone there to assess the damage and see how far it is in the road, and then get someone to come out and actually remove that. So that call will come into an agent, and within that time period we're communicating with someone in our vegetation management department and saying we need you to go out and really look and see what's happening with this tree and is it movable, and take care of it before it creates a hazard for accidents.
So one of the things you've heard us talk about since we got into the window here of this storm is the fact that many of these departments have staff that are on standby, some on callback to be able to handle different emergencies. Now, if the winds go over 55 miles an hour, our emergency vehicles, they do not run. That is a standard to keep them safe. There could be times where some of these other staffs that we've talked about, the guys in vegetation management going out to remove leaves, or not leaves, but remove trees if they're down, where they may not be able to get out there immediately. So sometimes it takes time, but tell a little bit about the process. I won't call it a paper trail, but the electronic trail to make sure things get done.
There's absolutely an electronic trail. So once the agent gets the call, then we're entering that data into the system to make sure that it's captured. And we can go back and look and see how many calls we received for that particular issue, who we dispatched it to, and the time frame it took, the estimated service delivery time frame it took to remove that, in this case, the tree, or if it's an outage with a signal or something of that nature, how long did it take to get that signal back up and running?
The communication is pretty fast. They're each of the agents, and you can see here, Edna is working with a caller right now, and so she's able to go in and send information to the staff, and so it goes into emails. It goes into a system that manages those calls. But sometimes you can even use the radio for sanitation when you have calls like that, right?
Right. When we're trying to communicate with our sanitation division, those guys are on trucks, and so they don't have a computer and or a cell phone available, so we will easily take the radio and say, for instance, truck 432, and let them know that we have a miscollection in this case, or we have a citizen saying that their courts or the roads blocked again by debris or something of that nature, and we're able to tell the citizen at that time that the route is behind, or that they're going to go back and collect it depending on what's impeding the collection.
So some of the calls that we talked about, the first example there, the tree down, we could see things like signals down, signs down. Those are the right things to call CityLink about. Can you help us to understand other types of calls that should come from our residents to CityLink for resolution?
If you're talking about the storm in particular, you may have sewer backup. If we start having runoff with water, etc., it could be a problem with sewer. So that's something that we need to get on top of fairly quickly. So that would be one of the calls that we would dispatch immediately, let utilities know, and they get someone out quickly. We've talked about the traffic signals. It's another one that could really create a hazard if we're not, really on top of it. The down trees, the storm drain cloggage. If we have a lot of runoff on rain, that's a problem, because then you're having the drainage, problem with water running and or standing on the road. As well as shelter information. If we have someone that's in need of shelters, we're going to refer them to 211, but we certainly recognize we might get some of those calls. And so we'll redirect those if possible and let people know that we're here to assist. Whatever the question might be, we're going to be here to take care of it.
One of the things you talked there about the types of calls with the storm drains. One of the things that has happened this week leading up to where we are now is traffic and field operations has gone out and looked at these storm drains, especially in the areas where they know there is high flooding potential, and they've tried to clear those drains out. Now, what's interesting is as we've been talking about that, I think sometimes people say, oh, so that's one of the efforts to get ready for the storm. The truth is that's something that those guys do all year long. They're out there trying to make sure that those storm drains are clear so that that we can be sure to get that water off the road so we don't come across standing water. Standing water, another item that we can expect that people may call about. They should call us to say there's standing water so you all can get the information out right.
That is correct. If it's standing water, we're going to press and probe and see exactly where it's ponding and make sure that we have the exact location so that we can dispatch personnel out to take care of that issue.
Also, an appropriate time to remind you, you've heard the saying before, turn around, don't drown. If there's water on a roadway, you think that it's unsafe, try to find another way around that location to get to your destination. So anything else you want to add, Karen, about the services of CityLink as we move through this storm?
Just want to let everyone know that we are here to assist. Our staff is prepared and ready. We have accommodations, making sure that they, one, taking care of their families, but also we will be putting our staff up to make sure that they have easy access to the building in case, of course, downtown Winston is impacted. So we will be here, as we've indicated, 24/7, and we're going to make sure that your needs are taken care of.
Great. Thanks so much. Hey, guys, again, it's really simple. 311 from a mobile device, 727-8000. Make those calls in here regarding city services, not emergency services, but city services, trees down, signs, standing water, any of that, so that CityLink can deploy the staff so they can go out and take care of it. So that's going to conclude us from here. We hope you all will stay safe. We'll also let you know to switch over to TV 13. Right now it is about 3:35 and it's Thursday. City Council is actually ratifying the mayor's declaration for a state of emergency here in the community. Stay tuned to Facebook and we will keep you updated all weekend long. Thanks again for watching.